Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. We're here with your Houston Community College news and information to get you through the day. We're joined by our co-host, Brittany Pacheco, who is checking in from yet another location. Where are you at today, Brittany?
Hey, good morning, Todd. I am back at Mama Cardenas's home, and I am loving it.
You're loving it. And your mom is making face shields, from what I understand, or not face shields, PPE. So we're going to take a look at that later and talk more about that. It's a cool little thing that she's doing for their family. But we're joined by two special guests this morning, and I want to bring on the show now. We have Dr. Norma Perez, the Vice Chancellor of Instructional Services and Chief Academic Officer, and also Dr. Shantay Grays, our Vice Chancellor of Student Services. Welcome to you both. I know you're both been very busy, but we're very glad and pleased to have you on the show with us this morning.
Thank you for having us, Todd.
Good morning.
Well, we got a few questions we're going to get into, and the big news that was just released within the last 48 hours regards the pass-fail option. So maybe both of you can kind of break this down and explain the pros and cons for students, because a lot of folks have wanted this for some time, but some students are saying that the pass-fail option is some type of means to an end, but it may have perceived negative implication for some students. Can you both comment on this?
Absolutely, Todd. We know that our students have a lot of concern at this point. Many of them, they're very stressful. They've had to sign on to online instruction, which is something that many of them did not sign up for. So we know that many of them had concerns about how they're going to perform in their classes under a new modality. And so taking into account students' questions that have been submitted, students' opinions, and of course, trying to look at the HCC community as a whole, we've come up with what we believe is a plan that will work for all students, those who definitely need to have a grade, and then those that at this point could go ahead and handle a grade of a pass or fail. The idea behind this is that we really want students not to focus on grades. We wanted them to focus on instruction and being able to obtain all the information they need with the remainder of the semester that we have, so that they can progress successfully onto the next course.
And these grading changes, maybe you can break those down, how the grading system works.
But when it comes to grades, we decided to temporarily change the grading policy for the spring, so that students do have an option. So that the option and they'll be able to choose the option, again, that best suits their needs. So the options that they're going to have is that faculty will still provide traditional grades. So they'll have an option of accepting that grade, or they can choose a pass or a fail option. They can also withdraw from the course without any penalty, and also in some cases, we will maintain the incomplete. And again, the incomplete is a grade that's agreed upon by the student and the professor.
And when they get an incomplete, does that mean they get a chance to take this course again?
Actually, the incomplete means that they have some assignments that were not completed. So we give them an extended amount of time to complete those assignments. So there's a plan that they agree with the professor as to when they will submit the outstanding assignments. In some cases, they may need to take an exam. In some cases, they may have an extenuating circumstance that will allow for the professor to again give them that incomplete. But it's an agreement. They don't take a class again. They do this work outside of a class and submit it within the time frame that has been agreed upon.
Dr. Grays, I want to ask you, obviously, you guys have been working on this in the background, but a lot of students have been asking about this option. And I know we're listening to our students, especially with the new virtual chat you have on the homepage that students can ask these type of questions, but you're listening to their feedback. But with this pass-fail option, each of these options have different benefits, or in some cases, consequences for the students. And it depends on their unique situation, correct?
That's correct, Todd. And we recognized that this pass-fail option was not an easy decision Although to Dr. Perez's point earlier, we wanted to ensure that students were focused on the instruction and that they were obtaining the knowledge that our faculty and instructors are putting forth in their efforts. But these consequences of a pass-fail option and withdrawal was not an easy decision because we have a variety of students with a diverse set of needs, particularly as it relates to the impact of financial aid or the impact of a pass-fail grade or with a W grade on financial aid and other eligibility for our veterans and our international students. So it's really about understanding looking at it from a global perspective and determining which student population for which this option would most feasibly apply, right?
Can you, again for you, Dr. Grays, can you walk through each of the options and talk a bit about the benefits and the possible consequences for the students? I believe the withdrawal option is one that students would need to elect earlier than some of the others, correct?
That is correct. We have extended the withdrawal deadline to May 10th, which is the last day of instruction. So students who would who'd like to request to receive a W for the grade for the course as their grade, they have until May 10th to do that. It is May 10th at 5 p.m. So we are encouraging students, if that is an option that they choose to select, they do have that time available to do so. I want to make very clear, though, that these withdrawals does not predicate a tuition refund, right? We have extended beyond that time frame by which we're issuing refunds for enrollment. So a withdrawal will just be an indication of a W on the student's transcript in their academic record. It's also important to note, specifically for COVID-related issues, that the withdrawals that occur this semester between March 1st and May 10th, which is the deadline to withdraw, those withdrawals will have a special designation on the student's transcript so that other transferring institutions would see this. We're not alone in this work. Institutions across the country are addressing this issue. So it's important that we be able to make that designation on the student's record for transfer purposes or for employment purposes in the future.
And Dr. Perez, back to you. Could you guide us once again? What about the incomplete if they choose that option?
Yes, Todd, let me elaborate on that. We have several skills labs and external learning experiences that our students take, especially in our workforce programs. And we know that they're not going to be able to complete those courses. The reason for that is that many of our students can no longer go to the work experience location. And then, of course, there are some skills that we just cannot teach online at this point. And as a result of that, we have collectively made the decision that all of these students, if they are not able to complete their skills lab, because again, there are some programs that were able to move that to online instruction. But for those that we were not able to do that, those students will automatically get an incomplete. This would allow them to work directly with their instructor to develop the plan and a timeline for when they can finish their coursework. Right now, the timeline that we have within our current policy is that they must do this within 6 months. However, again, based on the circumstances of COVID, we are going to allow them to extend that up to 12 months. However, we know that students really want to finish quickly, and so we do know that there may be some circumstances where we'll have to do that. Again, only the skills lab and external learning experiences will be the courses that will receive an incomplete. For other courses, again, if the student can't complete the course for whatever reason, and again, it could be that they were unable to submit some assignments, they were not able to take an exam, or there was extenuating circumstances that happened towards the end of the semester, then they can, and they have documentation to show that to be able to document that extenuating circumstance, then they can discuss their grade option with the professor in terms of a grade of an incomplete. Again, if the professor agrees, then they will work with the student to come up with a timeline that will best meet the needs of that student so that they can complete that course.
Again, for you, Dr. Perez, so the withdrawal and the incomplete options are both contingent on a May 10th deadline. What about traditional letter grade or pass-fail options? Are there different deadlines for that?
All right, you are correct. I do want to emphasize that, yes, they should be discussing their incomplete grade by May 10th. And the reason for that is that instruction for us ends on May 10th. The following week is the week of finals. So finals are conducted during that last week, and grades are submitted, must be submitted by the faculty by May the 18th. So that's the reason for the deadline for May 10th, because at that point, the professor needs to know exactly what the student wants in terms of a withdrawal or an incomplete. So after again, finals, then the grades are posted on the 18th.
And Dr. Grays, can you touch on the pass-fail option?
Sure, and I do want to give some clarity around it, because I think students, we're providing a range of grading options to our students, and we want them to make the best decision that will impact them long term. So a student may be wondering, well, why would I select a pass-fail option over a traditional letter grade? And I would say for a number of reasons, students may want to consider this option. What's typically been the case is for students who are seeking transfer and admissions to a highly selective program after completing their credentials or programs with HCC, they want to protect the integrity of their GPA, right? And they do that by opting for a pass-fail grade, because pass-fail grades will not count as part of the GPA, the overall GPA calculation. So they're able to maintain the integrity of their GPA, but still demonstrate completion of the course towards their degree requirements. So for a pass grade, as I just provided the example, a student who is doing well in a class, but maybe they're making a C, right? They have the option to choose either the traditional letter grade of a C, or have it just notated on their record as a passing grade, so that it's not impacting their ability to compete in those highly selective programs. The same would apply for a fail grade option. Those students, if they fail, those students would either opt to receive a failing grade, letter D, the grade of the letter F, or the non-credit, and it be reflected on their transcript. Again, that would not count towards the completion of their program or their degree requirements, because they failed the course, but it would not have an adverse impact on their GPA calculation. So I just want to make sure our students understand, as they're thinking through the process, or to contemplating which option is best for them, those are some of the options that I think they should take into consideration, or the concerns.
And Todd, I just want to reiterate that when the students have the option of that final grade, if they want to go that route, that grade will count towards their GPA. It's also counts for the completion of the degree, and will fulfill any requirements that they may have regarding financial aid or other benefits. So again, letting the students know that the grade will be treated just like we have done grades in the past. But again, they're going to have the option of being able to select whether they're going to want it to count towards their GPA or not.
And Dr. Grays, back to you. The students will record their selected option. How do they do that with letter grade or pass-fail?
So after the instructors have entered grades, as Dr. Perez mentioned, on the May 18th deadline, students will have the ability to go into their student portal and view their grades. And then there will be a process by which the student would select their alternate grading option. We are working on the back-end processes to make it more succinct so that students understand how to navigate through the system. But we will indeed ensure that communication gets out to our students no later than May 8th, so that they're prepared to make an informed choice by the time grading options appear.
Before you go, Dr. Grays, I wanted you to mention again, I applaud you guys for getting that new feature on the homepage. How popular has that been for getting information to you from our students with the virtual lobby you have and the virtual assistants?
I think for our students, it's been remarkable. Right? Many of them have searched, they traditionally accessed services by walking through the doors or at least picking up the phone to call the department for which they were seeking service. Now having that radio button directly reflected on the homepage and the landing page, it takes students to the entire range of options available in student services. They select their choice and our staff follow up. I think we've seen a lot of foot traffic increase virtually, and we've seen students engaging their advisors and engaging other student services staff as a result of that as well.
Dr. Perez, let me ask you, for the faculty, what feedback have you been getting from them since we announced the new options for the grading system that we have?
Right now, we actually just announced that officially today. I know that I have been sharing with our chair caucus that we were moving in this direction. And of course, I think their main concern was them faculty still being allowed to provide grades in terms of how the student was performing. Other than that, again, they want to do their part in terms of what they can do to help our students be successful. They like the fact that there is that option because they believe that by giving students that option, they will begin to focus more on their studies and really trying to comprehend the material that our faculty are trying to get across to our students, ensuring that they complete the student learning outcomes and that they are prepared to progress on to the next course.
You know, speaking with both of you over the last several weeks as we've been moving into this new world we're in right now, I guess the key phrase I've been getting out of this is that we all need to be flexible, from the faculty to the students and getting the new forms of education to our staff working at home. We all need to be flexible in this, and I guess this is kind of proving that we are kind of learning as we go along, but being flexible for the best interest of our students.
Absolutely, Todd. We've always kept the students in mind, and part of this is, again, we know that they did not ask to be put in this situation. Unfortunately, the COVID situation has caused all of us to look at things differently. It's been a new experience for our faculty. For many of our faculty, it's been a new experience for many of our students, and of course, even for our staff. I think that ideally, though, recognizing that we were all placed in this situation, we are all looking at it from a compassionate standpoint, as well as us as one of being very flexible with any situation that our faculty are encountering in the classroom. They are trying to work with our students to the best of their abilities to, again, help them focus on instruction, but at the same time, direct them to where they may need any assistance that can be provided through HCC.
And Dr. Grays, I know behind the scenes there's already a lot of work that's being done to make sure our graduation is up to par and really to deliver a great, excellent experience for our students. Maybe do you want to touch on that real briefly about the graduation ceremony that we do have planned?
Sure, and we're so excited about the opportunity to host our first virtual commencement ceremony to celebrate all of the achievements of our students this semester. We have a team of individuals, including yourself, Todd, who is helping organize and orchestrate what that would look like. But we are hosting the commencement celebration on Friday, May 22nd. More information will be sent to each of our graduates. So we're encouraging students, if you've not applied for graduation, please contact your advisor to ensure that you are prepared and complete the graduation application. We've extended that deadline to April 22nd. So please, by all means, we're making provisions to ensure that you have a commemorative program, that your family are able to join in and participate in this virtual celebration of your accomplishments. And we want to ensure that we are providing this option for all of our students. So that will also include our special programs like our VAST Academy. So we're looking forward to hosting this for the first time in our new reality, if you will.
And that's an experience we're all learning from as well. And I think when we get through this online, we're going to be doing a lot of things better in the future, gaining all this new knowledge we're getting from this.
Yeah, it's one of the unintended consequences of this crisis that we've been in. I'm sure you've all heard on a couple of occasions, never let a good crisis go to waste, right? where there's an opportunity for innovation to intersect with the process of planning and kind of making course corrections along the way.
Dr. Grays and Dr. Perez, thank you both for joining us this morning and bringing us up to speed with the new options for the grading system and touching on the graduation. Both of you have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you, Todd.
Thanks for having us. Thank you. Have a great day. You
too. And right now I'm joined by Brittany Pacheco, who's joining us from her parents' house, bouncing back across Houston. You're a busy person these days, and I think, we've got to say, you may see Brittany on the morning show, and Brittany handles all of our social media, or you're one of the team that handles all the social media and a lot getting back to the students with our comments. But if folks don't know, you create a lot of the graphics that we do here at Houston Community College. A lot of them go through you, and a lot of things people see on Facebook or through emails come directly from you.
Yeah, that's correct, Todd. My job, first and foremost, is a graphic designer, and social media has been growing these last couple decades. I know when I was in high school, Facebook was like a big thing, and you just weren't cool unless you were on Facebook, even at 15, 16. But that's the one thing for sure I can say confidently, that people are always going to generally go to social media first to find out the latest on various of topics. And so when we, even before this whole crisis came into play, definitely was taking part in social media. It's something that's ever growing, and we just need to stay on top of it. So yes, I do a lot of the graphics. I'm one of the team members who help answer questions when students leave comments or direct messages. And we're a hardworking team, and our students are the very front of who we service, obviously. And so any and all information that we are receiving from the college, we definitely try to make sure that we communicate it with the students on social media as quickly and as efficiently as we can.
And if you don't see the comments in the section when you ask a question in the comments, Brittany will get that directed to usually a vice chancellor or a certain department, so they can answer your questions directly. So when we give you those answers, they've been vetted. They've gone through the top team here to make sure you get the most informed answer. So it may take a little while, but we're going to get the right answer for you. We don't want to get out there and post things that may or may not be true. We want to give you the truth and the answer that comes from the top. So you're not going to go in different directions. So be patient with us when you do ask a question. Brittany, I want to get with you on any questions or any comments you may be getting today or over the last 24 hours on social media.
Definitely the new questions are going to follow this new grading policy that has just come into place, as Dr. Perez and Dr. Grays have just finished talking about. And there was a question left from a student about how does the pass-fail option work. So luckily enough, as the student was asking the question, Dr. Grays was elaborating on the pass-fail and how that works. So for anyone who has been watching this live stream and maybe missed out on that segment, no worries. This will be posted as a video later. You can go back and rewatch this whole show and hopefully get a little bit more information about this new grading policy for spring 2020. This is temporary. This is not going to be permanent, but we do have options available for our students currently enrolled at HCC.
And once again, students, a lot of folks were asking about this. They were asking for it, and our administration does listen to your feedback and take it in consideration. So, but it's a confusing situation. If you just think it's simple, it's not. So make sure you watch the whole interview. You can also go to hccs.edu/health-notice. You can look under the students section in that web page and find more information on this. And if you have more questions, simply go to our virtual lobby on our homepage. At the bottom of the page, there's a little tab that says virtual assistance, and you can click on that as well. Brittany, let me ask you, Nathan Hale, who's the director of our show, he's been going to the grocery later, and he had some experiences, and you've been able to find everything you need at the store, but Nathan's had some issues. And it looks like, if he can show us some of the pictures, he was going on the cleaning aisle. And I can relate to this because my wife has been trying to find, whenever we go to the store, she's like, I'm going to go get some bleach. And 9 times out of 10, she'll walk back and say they didn't have any. So it looks like a lot of the stores are really, there's a run on all the cleaning supplies, at least at this one store he went to.
Yeah, I've thankfully been able to find just about everything that I've needed, for my family, even my little puppy.
Yeah.
She runs the house and therefore she gets what she wants. Funny enough, my mom and dad were not able to find the refillable hand wash or hand soap containers. And I just so happened to be at the grocery store and I found the last one that was available for purchase. Score, exactly. So I bought it, I brought it to my parents, and I even extended the the invitation to Nathan. If he wasn't able to find certain items at his store, I would gladly go out to find what he needed. And let's say if there were eggs, he made the joke, we'll do an egg exchange. But
he found some empty egg aisles as well. I guess they were out of eggs at the store, and I haven't had a problem finding eggs as well. But one thing that's weird is, and I guess you can relate to this, but they were on the aisle where they sell this was at a large big box store. We'll just leave it at that. But on the aisle where they sell the material that you would sew with, they were out of a lot of the material.
Yeah, that is a thing, and we talked about this. I think it was yesterday. We talked about how my mom is making the face masks for the family, and there's a shortage on elastic because everyone out there is trying to help and trying to make make these masks for everybody. And if I can actually share my screen with you guys really quickly, I'll show you what mom is doing behind the scenes. So this is as of this morning.
There she is. Yep.
She takes great care in what she does with her creations. So we've got some hometown representation here, and so this is very well professionally done. Mom's been sewing since she was 10 years old, so I'm not gonna say how old she is, but she's got some skills and she puts a lot of heart into what it is that she does, and we're just very very fortunate that she's been working on this for everyone in the family.
Well, she's doing a great job on those masks. I've seen them when wearing them. They're great. And the chief and I are still waiting on ours. So let your mom know. She's running out of material, but that's no excuse. That's no excuse. We need to get it moving. I want to go back to Nathan real quickly because one thing, the reason why he went to the store a couple of days ago was to look for a monitor for a computer. And there's a run on monitors, folks, because everybody's going online. They want to get new monitors and work from home, and you can't find them in a lot of cases. And I know I've gone on Amazon and some of the other online buyers and had issues getting stuff discovered. Now, here's the trick. It'll say on, let's just say, one of the shopping sites that they have them in stock, but when you go and put it in your cart, it'll tell you, when you look at it, it'll say, we can get it to you by Thursday. Okay, great. But when you get to the carton, before you hit pay, look at it again, because usually Thursday has moved to a month and a half away and it's now June. So a lot of times I've been caught in those purchases for monitors and things like that, where I'm just, you get, it's a catch-22 because they may have them in stock, but they're not going to get it to you for a month.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And Todd, you all know that my husband is a elementary school teacher for one of the districts here, and he was looking into purchasing a webcam. That way he can work a little bit more comfortably at his desk instead of at the dining room table. And the prices are just, oh my goodness, like they're just out there for webcams. And so it's the same situation. You'll get it on a Thursday, but it's a Thursday a month from now.
I know it's very tricky, and I heard it was even on the news this morning. They were saying how webcams are right now. It's impossible to find them, and when they are on eBay, they're being sold for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. When normally you can buy these webcams for about $20. You should be able to get a good webcam for your PC between $20 and $50 for, I mean, high quality one. They're on eBay for now $600 and more. It's nuts. But like Dr. Grays was saying earlier, never let a good crisis go to waste, you know?
That's true.
It's crazy.
That's true. But you know what? This week, we're coming to the end of our second week of being online. And tomorrow, we're actually not going to be online because it is an official spring holiday for HCC. So students, take this time off if you can. I know a lot of us behind the scenes for the district will be taking some much needed time off. So use your time wisely, relax, spend time with your family, do whatever it is that you can do to just take some time for yourself and enjoy. And we will be back on Monday.
That's right. And quick announcements about this show. Right now we're doing a 10 a.m. and a 1 p.m. Live stream. We did that initially just because there was a lot of information we needed to get out there during this crisis. Things are starting to settle down, at least right now. We're working remotely, but we want to focus on our 10 a.m. show. So starting next week, we will have a 10 a.m. show. We will not have a 1 p.m. show. So join us live at 10 a.m. every morning, every weekday, starting on Monday, and we will get you all your HCC news and information. If there becomes a time where we need to go back to a 1 p.m. show, we'll do that. But rest assured, we're going to keep you informed, and we're going to be bringing you lots of programming while we are all working remotely here from HCCTV. Brittany, thanks for being here this morning. Have a great holiday weekend. Enjoy your time off. Tell your husband and your mom and your family we said hello. And
I certainly will.
I'm looking for face masks.
I certainly will, Todd, and you and your family have a great holiday weekend as well.
Thank you. And all of you, as Brittany mentioned, spend some time with the family, unplug the computer, turn the phone off, and just try to enjoy your time for this great weekend we have coming up. We'll be back here on Monday, and one way or another, we're all going to get through this. I'm Todd Duplantis, and we are glad to have you. Thanks for joining us on Up to the Meeting.